What would your hero think if they saw you today? Let's see. I'm Brian Ford. Welcome to Self-Improvement Daily. We all have our moments. Times where we lack self-discipline and negotiate with ourselves about a commitment we make. Times where we feel the urge to cut corners, even though we know that there are consequences to it. Times when we lose self-control in conversations, in our choices, and in our emotions that lead us out of integrity with who we want to be. There's nothing wrong with you or me or anyone who goes through this. It's in our human nature where psychologically, the unconscious mind is trying to convince us to conserve energy and stay comfortable. And it's a constant battle to override it. However, one of the things that is really effective at overcoming all of that is having other people watch you. It's called the audience effect. And it works because it taps into our unconscious mind's desire to be accepted and seen positively within a group. And it causes us to show up with more discipline and conviction than we otherwise would by ourselves. But I want to take that a step further. Rather than the observer being someone random, imagine that your hero was watching. The person whose opinion you care a lot about, whose respect you want to earn, and who can tell the difference between you applying yourself and going through the motions. When you bring that person's perspective to mind, it illuminates the path forward. You're less willing to convince yourself of doing anything that's less than your best because your heroes demand excellence. It injects clarity and awareness for what you need to do and helps you muster up the motivation required to follow through on it. This is especially helpful in a moment of laziness, uncertainty, or distraction. When you catch yourself doing something out of alignment, the thought of what your hero would say in that moment will drive you to change. You notice that you're mindlessly scrolling social media and then you get back on schedule. You're procrastinating a workout, so you get right to it. You pull yourself out of a research rabbit hole and get back to working on the project. And you can use this technique by simply asking yourself, what would my hero be thinking about me and my choices in this moment the next time you're off track? Even though it's fake, it adds a perspective that works better than you think it would. That is, as long as you pick the right heroes whose values match yours and who appreciate that holistically healthy, successful, present, impactful life you see for yourself. I'm Brian Ford, and you grew today. Let's do it again tomorrow on Self-Improvement Daily.